going through it. Oh, cool.
Yeah, you're welcome. You did all the work. I just kind of sat there and you taught me stuff, so it worked out.
Yeah, it worked out. The real fun though is I figured out I'd have to make it a little challenging for you since you do mostly G1000. So I'm going to talk about a CDI indicator here later. That should be fun.
And is this going to be posted? So everyone who couldn't join, I just saw it said recording. So is it gonna be available for the people who can't join tonight?
Yes, we'll record it and then we'll edit it a little bit and then post it out.
Okay, awesome. Is there a website where we can see like past presentations? Because I heard Shane's was pretty awesome. So is there a way to view past ones as well?
He's got it on YouTube, but I don't think we recorded his. He recorded his own video, but I don't think we recorded the whole, his whole presentation.
Yeah, Shane's a hard act to follow. His video was great.
Oh, don't do that. Don't do that.
Yours was awesome.
Look at this presentation here. We're about to blow it out the water, man. I'm excited. Can't wait.
Yeah, it'll be fun. I'm going to ask y'all lots of questions too, so, you know, be ready to answer them. Even Karen.
It's 2 more minutes and then we'll get started.
That plane crash with the train was really interesting. That was crazy.
He was doubly lucky, man.
Yeah. I don't know whether to buy a lottery ticket or like hide out after that. Like, is that good luck or bad luck?
Yeah, I think he might have used up all his good luck on that one. That was that was a definitely a lucky one. Happy made it out though.
Do we know what happened? Like, do we know what the full story of the accident is?
I don't know.
Well, once it started, it's 9 past 6. So we want to thank everybody for joining. Jacob has a great presentation ready for us today. We were initially going to do the one with Billy, but he got COVID. So Jacob stepped up to the plate and put the presentation all together and has done a great job with the presentation. I think everybody's going to be happy with it. We want to make the presentation informal. So it's, you know, basically going over some slides and then ask question as he does the presentation. He will have some really good material to present. So Jacob, I'm going to turn it over to you. We have about 10 people on the presentation.
Okay, cool. Well, everyone, hi, my name is Jacob Alvarez. If I haven't met you guys already, it's nice to meet you. Today, I'm going to be going over the art of navigation interpretation. And that sounds like a huge subject, but what I ended up doing is decided to kind of cut it down a little bit. So what we're going to do is we're going to focus on one thing today, and that is being able to fix your position accurately and quickly using a CDI or HSI. So that'll be kind of the goal of today. And then maybe later on, I can kind of go into ADFs and things like that, maybe in another presentation. Let's go ahead and get started. All right, so the magenta line. Would you be able to maintain situational awareness without it? Ask yourself that. And you don't have to answer out loud, but think about it. How confident are you in your ability to maintain situational awareness without that moving map? I know the first couple of times I flew aircraft without a moving map, I was kind of like, yeah, I don't know, do I really have to go there? But it's actually easier than you think. The reason I bring this up is because the whole motivation for my presentation today is to try to help you guys have, to give you a better idea of how to find your position and maintain situational awareness with just the CDI indicator or an HSI indicator. It's been my experience that whenever I give people exams or recurrents, especially for instrument, you're required to fail one instrument. My favorite is the MFD. It's that when people lose the map, they go instantly into the red. And, it's really interesting because even professional pilots struggle with it. Actually, I got a good question for the group here. How many of you guys have actually flown IFR without a moving map? Old school, needles, changeover points. Anybody?
I have.
There we go. Awesome. Well, there's one in every group. Make it two.
Right.
Good. But by having that experience, though, it really helps out, especially as you're flying along. Having that extra bit of situational awareness goes a long way. There's a lot of other airplanes out there, a lot of older airplanes that still aren't equipped with the moving map. For instance, the first jet I was in, the Lear 35, that one didn't have a moving map. That thing that you see that kind of looks like a map is actually a radar. So go figure. I'm sorry, helicopter flying over. Don't know if you guys can hear that. It's pretty loud. I live near a hospital, so I'm flying over every now and then. So the question is, how can situational awareness be maintained without the moving map? Well, the answer is visualization. Let's start off with the Cdi Needle. How many of you guys have flown with one of these? Anyone?
I have.
There we go. I'm sensing a pattern. You started on steam gauges, huh?
Yeah, old school. And then the very first GPSs that came out, those KLN 9Bs or 94B or 89B, or I was so excited about that digital display of a GPS.
Awesome. Yeah, the KLN 90 still gives me nightmares.
Right.
So this is a CDI indicator, and this is kind of the old school method that we would use for navigating prior to having HSIs. The HSI gives you a little bit more information in that it kind of combines heading into it. This one operates independent of heading. So to kind of get started, let's go ahead and strip it down to its basics and then work our way back up. So here, through the magic of my Photoshop skills here, I went ahead and deleted the to from indicator and the course deviation indicator. So all you have here is just the card, and the card is rotatable using this OBS knob, Omni Bearing Selector. And what you would do is you would select the course you want to the station or from it, depending on whether the to from flag is pointing to or from, and you would set it at the top of the instrument here using that rotatable card. Now the trick with using this is that it's independent of heading. So you would have to visualize what you had on this on here. And that's where the imagination part comes in. So to get started, let's talk about the to from flag. So for the to from flag, if you were to see this, where would you think the VOR is in relation to the aircraft? Anyone? Is it north, east, south, west of your position? No takers?
Isn't it north? How'd you get two? I mean,
You think north?
two.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Okay.
So that to flag right there is letting you know, hey, it's towards that north side of the instrument here. So this whole quadrant, that could be anywhere up here. And you would just visualize that like that on the directional gyro. Now, let's talk about the needle itself. Now, the needle itself, I always thought they were kind of cheap by hinging it up here. It really makes it hard to visualize. So to make it easier, let's go ahead and unhinge it. There we go. So you can see the needle here. This is the course that you've selected. So this is the 360 course to the station, or the 180 radial, however you want to think about it. And with this instrument, you would have to mentally transpose this. You don't want to think of it in terms of left or right, because it may be right in front of you, which is the case here. You want to think of this as more of a top-down view. So you see north, east, south, and west. The course is off towards the west. And so when you visualize that on your directional gyro, you can see that you're headed right towards it at a 90-degree angle. You also have these two little points right over here, which are pretty good for kind of guesstimating a intercept angle. Depending on the instrument, they might be at 30 degrees or 45 degrees. So that can kind of help you out in setting up the intercept for a radial. Now, combined with the to from flag, we can go ahead and figure out where the VOR is just by putting it at the end of that needle. So if you can visualize this, this is the course we selected, this is the VOR. So now, say we're flying along, what heading would you fly to take you more or less direct to the VOR? Anyone? Kind of look at it here. It'd be somewhere around 325 to 330, right? Be off in this direction. So that's what this visualization technique helps you do, is it helps you kind of have a moving map just by looking at it. Let's go ahead and go into a scenario here, and I'll break it down with an example, make it a little bit easier. So, any of you guys been to Alpine before? No one? All right, cricket.
I have.
There we go. Winner, winner. So out of Alpine here, we're going to depart, and due to poor radio and cell phone reception, we're going to go ahead and call Albuquerque Center Airborne to request our IFR clearance. Oh, go ahead.
Jacob, Alpine is here in Texas, correct? Near, near where?
Oh, it's near Big Bend, near Marfa.
Marfa, Big Bend,
Fort Stockton.
it's West Texas,
Yep,
heading south.
right there. And if you notice, what's this over here? Compulsory reporting point. So we have out there, not really great radar coverage. And so for this reason, finding your position and reporting accurately might be even more important than say in other places. So anyhow, here I got your panel, and I have your CDI right here. And based off of this information, I would like you guys to tell me where we're located. Any good guesses? No one? I give y'all some time.
Northeast of the VOR? Northwest of the VOR?
Northwest or northeast?
I'm gonna say northwest, final answer.
All right. Any other takers? No? Well, here, I'll make it a little bit easier. So the technique that I use is cover the flag and cover the needle. So all we got to do is we have to cover the flag side, right? You can do this just mentally or with your hand if you need to. And then cover the needle side. Where they overlap is where the VOR is. The aircraft is going to be in the other spot where they don't overlap. So you can see here that we're east, maybe just a little bit north, but mostly east of the VOR. And if I go over here, you can see it kind of how you would visualize it, and then you can kind of figure out which way you're going to go to intercept it. Let's see here. And there's the actual position off of ForeFlight. Everyone get that? Cover the flag, cover the needle, and then the part where
That's a pretty good sheet, man. I like that.
nice little cheat, makes it easy.
Yeah.
And then where they intercept there, that's where the VOR is, and where the opposite side to it is, that's where the aircraft is. So it'll save you some time. So if you were making that position report, you might let them know that, hey, was it Albuquerque Center, Cessna 95314, 16 miles to the east of the, was it Marfa VOR, request IFR clearance, and then they'll go from there. But makes it a little bit easier, saves you some time in the plane. Oh, and there you go. I went ahead and rotated it so it matches our little mental picture. All right. Wouldn't it be nice if they made an instrument that would rotate for you so you don't have to do all the mental gymnastics? Well, that's exactly what the HSI is. The HSI combines heading information and course information. So the cool thing about this is that cover to flag, cover to needle trick works on this instrument as well. All right, so let's see if we can answer the 3 big questions of navigation. Where am I? Where am I going? And how do I get there? So looking at these 2 instruments right now, and you can choose which one you'd rather look at, either the CDI or the HSI. Where is the airplane located at?
Use the same trick, right? Use the cover the needle, cover the line.
Yep. Any takers?
I'm not gonna answer.
Why not? Bail us out. That is screwed up already. Come on. You know it, Denise.
We're south and east.
There we go.
All right, southeast. I would agree with that.
Job.
I just
And-
took my written IFR though, not too long ago. So
Oh, there you go.
That penguin is still on the iceberg. Good job, Patricia.
Yeah.
And the station, of course, is opposite that, right? Northwest from you. What heading could you fly right now that would take you pretty close to a direct to the VOR? Remember, you have to visualize the VOR station on the side where the from flag is, off of here. So it's somewhere right here. So probably what, about a 330, 335, somewhere in there would take you direct towards it. All right, let's try another one. How about here? Where am I? Where am I going? And how do I get there?
Same thing with this one. Cover the needle, cover the,
Yep, cover the needle, cover the flag.
right.
So you're northwest of the VOR.
Yep, you got a northwest. Any other takers? Wish I had some bribes to give you all, like, I don't know, some kind of prize or something.
They're all on mute.
They're all on mute. Ah, all right. Well, you're right. It is. The aircraft is located to the northwest, and the station in this case is to the southeast.
Mhm.
All right. Now, that's what I got for you guys today. I know it's a little bit of a short presentation, but I didn't want to throw too much at you at once. Later on, I do want to do maybe something on the ADF or some of the other instruments. But I did use a couple cool resources, so I did want to kind of point them out to you. Never Get Lost is a really good book. This guy is a German guy, so the translation's a little rough, but he goes into really good detail on how to visualize the navigation instruments. And then this Nav Pilot Trainer app works really good too. Mr. Amir Fleming, I've actually flown with him. He's a pilot over at Republic. Put it together, and it's a really good tool if you're working on your IFR rating. And with that, I want to know if you guys have any questions.
Now we can open it up for discussion and things like that. I know that a lot of the newer planes have the moving maps, like you were mentioning, Jacob, but there's still a lot of planes that use the VOR and the HSI, correct?
Yep. Yeah, there's a lot of airplanes that still use kind of the, are you talking about like the old school steam gauges?
Yes.
Oh yeah, tons of them. I know I can name a few of them off the top of my head, like the Learjets, some of the older Falcons, Hawkers, King Airs. I mean, having the moving map was a luxury item in most of those. But it's really important to kind of keep that situational awareness when you're flying along. One thing I also like to use is bearing pointers. So if you guys are familiar with the ADF, a bearing pointer is like that, but for a VOR, it just points directly to the VOR. And those are really useful for keeping track of your position at different times. A lot of times I'll give in check rides, I would kind of every now and then ask someone like, okay, so where are we right now? Especially if they were kind of lost or struggling. And, they they would struggle with it. And so what I would do is I would say, okay, well, maybe if you tune in VOR and use that bearing pointer, you could find your location a little quicker. So it's always good to have one of those up just so you know where you're at, especially if you're getting vectored all over the place. Just makes it easier if you don't have a moving map.
Do you, even if you had a moving map, do you still align yourself or with all the VORs on your route? How do you, I mean, how do you fly now if you have a moving map?
I still do it the old way. I keep up the green needles and I keep my bearing pointers going. Just because I like to have it. And also because sometimes you'll find that GPS navigation isn't always available. Especially like solar storms can affect it. Government testing, if you're out in New Mexico, every now and then they'll mess with the GPS signals a little bit. So you can lose, you can lose accuracy. And because of that, I'd just much rather have the green needles up. Now, GPS does have some advantages though. Like if I was going to be doing an ILS approach and it was snowing outside, I would probably use the GPS approach over the ILS because the ILS can be affected by the snow banks and stuff like that. It can mess with the signal. So GPS does have some advantages, but then green needles have some advantages too. For instance, with GPS, if you don't have WAS, then temperature will affect you, especially if you're kind of like on an approach. That happens a lot of times with some of the airliners because the airliners don't have WAS, or at least most airlines don't want to pay for it. And so what they do is they have to keep within a certain temperature range to fly the LNAV, VNAV approaches. So if you kind of understand what the limits are between the green needles and GPS, you can take advantage of the best of both worlds depending on the conditions. Yep. Did we lose some people? Yeah.
No, Karen came back in.
Ah, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, what about the NDB? That's still valid here in the US for navigation? I know in my country, Brazil, they use a lot, but I didn't see it that much here in US.
Yeah, there's not too many of them left, but they do exist. Alpine actually, if I were to go into that scenario more and ask how you would depart out of there, there's an obstacle departure procedure that requires it. Although, of course, if you have GPS, then you can go with GPS. But yeah, there's not too many of them anymore around, especially because they can be substituted with RNAV. I still like them. Listen to the game, listen to music every now and then on them if you're bored.
What do you mean by that?
Have you ever, okay, so you can tune into ADF frequency, and then if you turn up the volume on it to listen to it, you can actually get a hold of like radio stations and stuff like that on there too.
Wow.
Music, the ball game.
Yeah, that's all we used it for was AM stations and getting confused.
I didn't know
Yeah.
that. Learned something new.
Get bored on a long cross country due to ADF karaoke.
Yeah, so that's the way they do some navigation class over there now. So they said, okay, so you go from this city to another city. So we fine-tune the NDB frequency and listen the radio station for that city. So that you're getting to the correct place. So it's pretty fun, this type of navigation.
Yep. So yeah, kind of cool stuff. But I don't know. I don't like going full into GPS, using that as my only sole source of navigation, just because there's times where the green needles are better, and then there's times when the GPS is better, and you kind of have to pick and choose depending on the situation.
What do you use as a backup? Like, let's say you're flying, with one, you're saying you're moving the moving maps. What do you use as your backup for flight?
Yeah, I'll have ForeFlight up sometimes. Although the reason I don't like ForeFlight as much is depending on the airplane you're in and how thick the glass is. Sometimes the GPS signal, at least I usually use the built-in GPS, and it's not that great. I think it'd probably be better if I used an external one, but with that, it kind of skips around sometimes. So it's nice when it works, but I kind of use it as like a last ditch effort to figure out where my position is. It has come in handy before. I remember one time I was flying out to Hawaii, and the owner of the airplane installed some kind of new chimp text messaging system. And so as we were flying out, we got a little message on our FMS, and the FMS message was that we lost GPS signal from GPS 1 and GPS 2. And I'm thinking like, oh man, this is gonna really suck having to do an ocean crossing with no GPS. And we were pretty close to our ETP. So now we're thinking, well, do we go back? Like what's causing this? And we started to notice that every time the guy sent the text message, our GPSs would go out. And then we're like, oh, put 2 and 2 together. That's what's causing it. And so we had them deactivate it. And then after that, we got it back. But, you know, GPS, you can't rely on it always to be there. There's so many things that can interfere with it. And a lot of things that you don't really even think of that could mess with it.
Have you ever gotten lost? Have you ever gotten lost?
Oh yeah, I learned on steam gauges also. So getting lost learning on steam gauges was like a natural occurrence, especially at first. You wouldn't really be completely lost. You know where you were generally, but back in the days before ForeFlight and before all that, you just have to look at the map and time your points and look outside and be like, yep, that's what that looks like. And I kind of hope you're right. I bet you, and Denise, have you ever been lost?
You're on,
No.
please.
No,
Yeah,
sure.
sorry, I was muted. Yes, I was lost on my very first solo cross country after I got my instrument rating. And I was in an airplane that was super old with old steam gauges, and I had one VOR. So I was trying to cross radial. I went to Oklahoma, and on my way back, the winds had really picked up, and I started to realize I had no clue where I was. And so time had just passed by really quickly, and I was trying to triangulate with VOR radials, and it was not working to my advantage. And I had to climb, confess, communicate, comply. And they gave me vectors back to Addison, and my instructor was sitting on the steps with his arms crossed like he was mad. I'm like, are you mad at me? He's like, no, you did exactly what you're supposed to. I'm like, I was lost. That was not fun. I still flew it. It was a really cool, like old 1968 Warrior. It was all decked out in like horribly orange velvet. It was awesome.
So question for you: If you're lost and the first thing they ask you is where you're located, what do you say? It's like, dude, I can't even tell you where I'm at.
Oh, I didn't. Yeah, basically I told them what altitude I was at. They gave me a squawk code, and then they found me.
So the transponder is how they find you.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
I think now.
So I knew well enough that I knew what sector I was in for the okay, perfect. Sorry. I'm at Ella's soccer practice. So I'm like multitasking. Yeah, I knew kind of which Fort Worth center I needed to talk to, and I went to what I thought it was. And actually, I think at that time they couldn't find me, and so they gave me another frequency and had me climb. I mean, that was like 20 years ago or more. Yeah, I think that's what happened is they had to give me another frequency, and then I climbed up, and then they found me per the squawk code, and then they vectored me back. And I had left Oklahoma and was heading back to Addison, and I was all the way almost to Tyler. So I got pushed pretty quickly, and especially with being lost, I kept flying. I didn't turn around or stop. So I just kept going in the direction I was going, and I kept getting further and further.
Hey, can you guys hear me? This is Richard. Is it too loud here?
We can hear you, Richard.
We can hear you, Richard.
Oh, okay, super. Yeah, I just thought I'd put in my 2 cents. Yeah, about 20 years ago myself, I got lost, but I actually got lost with a GPS. And it's one of those things of knowing your equipment. I went to Houston to buy a small R-22 helicopter, and I borrowed my instructor's handheld GPS. So I was flying back to Dallas, and when I saw the Red River, I knew I went too far. So it's luckily I was in a helicopter, so I could just kind of fly around and set it down when I saw solid airport. But it just kind of gets back also just, you really got to know your instruments, and you got to know, especially if you have anything unfamiliar, even a GPS, you got to make sure you know how to use it.
Yeah, I used to always think that, like, man, who hasn't gotten lost in the airplane? But I guess if you have a moving map, it kind of makes it hard to be lost, right?
But I think we also take for granted, how convenient the moving maps are. But, if you rely on it all the time, then when you do, because the MFD went out or something happens, how do you react to those kind of situations? So you have to, try to do what you can to get back.
Yep.
It's like a good exercise on really long cross countries to pick out, at least, with our plane, you can do 2 VORs. So you pick out the 2 and dial in the frequencies and see them pop up, and at least go through the mental exercise of, if everything went out and I had to fly just based on the VOR available, or these 2 VORs available, how would I do it? Just to at least keep it present in your mind, and to make sure your plane is actually doing what you think it's going to do, or you figure out how it's going to do it. And, I've found in our plane, sometimes, you'll dial it in and you're a good ways out, and the plane will be like hunting. So you're flying and you're kind of going left, you're going right, it's just looking for that signal. It's taking you to the right place, but it's just good to know those things, like you said, in case something happens, you're not like, oh my gosh, what is my plane doing? Why is it going left and going right and going all over the place? It's like, it's going the right direction. It's just
Can you also call, like, ask ATC, can they give you vectors to where you go, or how does that, what would they say,
Say again?
Let's say, for example, you lost part of your instrument and you're disoriented. Can you talk to ATC and say, hey, I lost my instrument, can you vector me where I need to go?
100%, yes.
Yeah.
So that's why we encourage you guys to do flight following all the time anyway, and then they know, you're on a squat code, period.
Mhm.
But then, yes, if you end up losing anything, they're there to help you. So they'll definitely give you vectors. A lot of people in the Addison at night, you can't see the runway.
No,
So
you
you'll
can't.
hear even instructors that'll ask for vectors, and they've got a GPS, but they can't find the airport.
Yeah, especially at night in Addison, it's complicated
Yeah.
to find at the
Yeah,
airport.
very.
So,
Yeah. Hey, on that same note, Denise, if you're flying an IFR flight plan and somehow or another you're just not paying attention or things aren't going right and you start veering off and you don't confess, will they mic up and ask you what's going on, or generally speaking?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, but more, it takes quite a bit for them to notice, especially if you're in busier airspace where you're going to end up being anywhere near other aircraft. Then they're going to definitely notice, but it takes them a little bit. But if you're not going the right direction, they'll definitely, because I've kind of tried to cheat a couple times and going to like a fix or trying to see where a fix was, and then I put in my course to there instead, and they're like, are you pointed towards the airport? And I had forgotten to go back to heading or to GPS, and I was on heading mode or something. So
Gotcha.
they will help you. That's why you guys are going to get your IFR, so you can just file, and then you always end up having help.
Working on it.
Yeah. Then it's all their problem. They'll figure it out.
And they'll ask you, do you have this altimeter reading? Yeah.
Because you're off by 200 feet.
That's a classic. right
Where
there.
you're flying. Yep. That means put it back on heading mode and GPS mode, and like stop messing around.
That happened to me on my last flight. I didn't set the altimeter setting, so I was 3 feet off.
That's what they all
Yeah, I
say.
wasn't going to tattle on you there.
That's all right. It's all right.
Yes, he straight up was 300 feet off, like in class Bravo. So they did it
Yeah.
pretty fast. And they're
Oh, wow.
worried about us. That's the number one thing. They don't think you're doing it on purpose, right? So they don't want you to hit anything.
Right.
So
It's always funny
their
when they
first
ask.
call is always, do you know the current altimeter setting?
Mhm.
I know. I thought I had said it, but apparently I didn't. And then Addison Tower told us that we were 300 feet off, and then they switched us over to you know, forward center, whatever it was, 124.3, and then they said we were off by 300 feet. And then this is all in class Bravo, so we're trying to turn 270 and then, you know, climb and all of this stuff, and at the same time set the altimeter. So it was kind of, thank God Denise was there, you know.
Well, I will say using ForeFlight as well for situational awareness or in case of emergency, also super good to mess with it if you have like a Sentry or something like that that you have it connected to, and see how it actually responds. Because like I've realized, you know, that you have to
Is that good?
think it each time. So it doesn't just like automatically remember.
Is that helpful or too bright? That's good, right?
Denise, we're gonna mute you. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I've realized with my Sentry, I mean, it is spot on. Of course, you have to remember, right? Everything is like GPS. It's not adjusted for with the barometric settings. So, you know, like this is based on ground speed, and this is based on all those things. So that's important. But I did realize like you have to sync your AHRS each time in ForeFlight with the Sentry for it to actually give you a good, if you're straight and level, right? It'll give you like a climb on its
Yes.
own. So you
Really? I didn't know that. I thought it was
Yeah.
a one-time deal.
No,
Kind of calibration, you do it. So that is a calibration. It's special.
right, calibrate it.
You have the way you put it left or right side, that's make a change as well. So you need to set it properly.
Does that also apply for the Stratus, or is that only for the Sentry?
I have no idea, but my assumption was the same, that it was just a one and done thing, but no. And I've done it a couple times in the plane. I'll go back and it's like, no, it'll show you in a climb or something. So you have to calibrate your AHRS. So just something good to know in case of emergency, you know, how it
Dude,
actually.
that's super helpful, man. I mean, I've been like a little snobby and cocky about that. If I lost my screen, all I'll do is just press the AHRS button, and then to find it's not calibrated. Next thing you know, that's not giving you what you need. Oh my gosh,
it's not. It's not quite set. So it's super accurate when you calibrate it. I mean, it is spot on, but yeah, you need to make sure you're still flying straight and level when stuff goes out, you know, hopefully your autopilot's still working. And again, you have backup gauges and everything to put it on and hit calibrate. And then, but there's like,
can you do it on the ground, or can you do it in the air, or you need to do it before you take off?
No, you can do it in the air.
Okay.
Mhm.
Does it have a lag with it when you use it? I've never used AHRS on ForeFlight.
No, I mean, it is dead on. Yeah, I could definitely see how if you're flying around in a Cub or something, like just use that, man, as I mean, it's got all the information on it. It's got your map. It's, you know, it has everything. So I highly recommend it, but you have to know how to calibrate it and do it. Yeah. And you don't just hit calibrate, you hit calibrate and then you have to hit like something in the middle. I can't remember off the top of my head right now, but you have to like zero it in. So there's like two things, you hit it and then hit it again, and then it's good to go. And like I said, it's spot on and everything.
That's pretty neat. I don't know. I need to get me one of those for my iPad.
Yeah, it works really cool.
I saw, is that the Jose in the group? I think I recognize.
Yeah,
the
Jose,
name.
we have two people that joined. I'm not sure who they are. One says Jose Munguia, and the other one is Fort Worth 99S. So I don't know who those two people are.
Ah, okay. I know Jose.
Yep, that's me.
How are
Hey,
you?
Jacob. I'm
Hey,
good.
how's it going?
I'm good. I just got done with a trip. I'm in Jackson, Mississippi. So I just got to the hotel room and I turned on the Skype video or the Zoom video.
Oh, awesome. Good. You got to miss all the horrible part of me butchering it earlier.
Oh no, that's the best part. No, can we start it over?
Hey,
I
there with
wanna
the
see that.
popcorn. It's like, ah.
Oh no way. Oh dude, we gotta do that again. I'm gonna have to go back and rewatch the beginning. I gotta see you do that.
Oh man, Jose was really good. I remember on his first flight, he did everything. I just kind of sat back and just let him go to town.
Oh, you're too nice. You're too nice. Yeah, no, sorry to get keep going. My bad. Yeah, I just
No,
got to
no
the
worries.
hotel
That's
room
cool,
watching
man.
the
So it's like,
presentation
oh,
here.
cool. I didn't know you were here too.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Who's Fort Worth 99S? If you can say hi.
It's Karen. I was having issues with my iPad, so I have
Okay.
I have an account with the 99s, so I figured I would try that, and it seems to be working on my phone better. So I'm just gonna stick with that for right now.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, for a Zoom meeting, it's kind of like we're the Muppets show here, but I like it.
I remember you telling me about this book, Never Get Lost, a long time ago. I haven't had the chance to read it, but I've wanted to order it and get through it just because you told me it kind of makes IFR navigation so much easier and it's like simpler. It breaks it down for you.
Oh, it does. Do you remember, Jose, a couple years ago when they were having a GPS issue over at the regionals? I forgot why, but they had
Yeah.
to fly all on green needles for a day and people were losing their minds.
Uh-huh. Yeah. It was something with I think the Collins update that they did, and then it didn't none of it worked, and they had to cancel flights, and people just were like confused on how to fly. Like, yeah, no, it's basic IFR navigation. Be able to interpret the CDI, HSI.
Well, and we may have that issue come up again with the 5G stuff going on.
Oh,
So,
that's
Yeah.
right.
I mean,
That's right.
time will tell.
Yeah, so that's another question. So I work for Nokia and we work with FAA to prove that 5G do not interfere on the radio altimeters for the airplanes. So we are doing the proof of concept right now with the FAA.
Well, Ricardo, they postponed it, right? They were going to roll out the 5G here. They postponed it.
No, it's still running. So they said some airplanes with the radio altimeters, they are complaining that it's have missed errors readings, but so in all the tests there is no interference. So the frequency is too far away from what the airplane is using right now. So here in US, we are deploying pretty much 3.5 gigahertz. And they have a lot of safe band space between what the airplane is using and what the 5G is using right now. And the other frequency is very, very low. It's a 28 megahertz. They call millimeter wave. That's the frequency that give you high speeds, no more than 1 gigabits per second. But this is very, very short travel frequency. So, but again, also until they have the conclusions, they still have people saying that 5G is bad. So at the beginning, they said 5G is killing birds. Now, I don't know if you guys heard about that. So
I still keep a chemtrail sticker on my bag.
yeah.
I made sure to turn that one on today. I gotta make everybody happy with that button.
Uh,
Oh man, That 5G stuff, the airlines are worried about it. I know we were seeing memos about it affecting Cat 2 and Cat 3 approaches because we take those down to 50 feet, you know, and if the radar altimeter starts acting screwy, there just isn't time.
Yeah, that's right.
Whether,
But I think airlines have like a 3 or 4 radio altimeters, no?
no, they just have one actually. Remember, airlines are as cheap as they can get. Doesn't matter regional or major.
Yeah, so yes, so the company airplane, they have 3. And also we are doing some tests in Finland as well, and help for the regulations doing that. But it's pretty interesting to know.
Hey, have y'all been able to find this book, Never Get Lost? I still can't. I remember looking it up, and I couldn't actually physically order a copy. And I got back into looking into it, and I can't find somewhere. Yeah, I can't find a physical copy. I can only find it on Apple, like iBooks.
Like,
You have to leave a deposit with Jacob and then he'll let you.
Oh man, you know what? Why does it not?
Sizable.
That doesn't surprise me
Auction
one
on
bit.
this thing.
That doesn't surprise me one bit. You
Yeah.
know,
I
smart.
can't
like
find
that.
it either. I've looked everywhere online. I've tried to find this previously as well.
I think I found it on Amazon years ago, and there was like one left. I was like, guess I'll get it.
I'll
But
probably
the-
just end up buying the version off iBooks.
Yeah, I think the iBooks one is the same thing because it's kind of cool. He goes into like how to do wind correction with just the instrument, being able to figure that out.
Yeah.
PDF navigation, he makes that really easy to understand, and he breaks it down a lot better than I ever could. So
You know what?
it's awesome.
I'm buying that right now.
Yeah, I can't find a physical book. I'm a physical book person, but I can't find it anywhere.
All right,
it's
just purchase
weird.
it right now.
It just goes on and on. It's horrible. It's bad when you have to move, and then you're like, why did I buy so many books?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wish I had the
Definitely.
digital copy.
Yeah. Yep. So this Pilot's Cafe, have you used this much for the nav trainer?
I used it a little bit with teaching people instrument and just to kind of mess around on it. That's actually the instrument, the pictures that I took in this little presentation.
Uh-huh.
I tried to do them on the Frasca, but they just didn't look good in the presentation. So I used this Pilot Cafe and cropped them out, and they kind of came out pretty decent.
Okay. Okay.
But this guy works at Republic. I know him personally. He's a pretty good guy, smart dude.
Okay. Sweet.
A good IFR short, prep thing for your oral exam. I like that one a lot.
Okay. Yeah, I know. I remember struggling with the HSI interpretation kind of thing in the beginning, but after a while, just doing it over and over, it kind of gets easier. But in the beginning, it's kind of like trying to get your bearings right. No pun intended, but trying to get it all in the right order of figuring out where you are. But I think, what was it, Jacob, you told me from this book? It was cover the flag, cover the needle, and you know where you are in relation to the station the whole time.
Oh man, he remembers all these years later.
Oh no, I remember everything you told me. Don't worry, I remember.
What other tricks does he have, Jose? What other tricks does he have?
Well, that's the only one I remember. I should say that. That's the only one I remember for now. But if I think of any, I'll let you know. But man, that one really helped. I mean, and that's something that I pass on to my students as an instrument instructor. I don't know if it translates to the G1000 too, but as far as doing the old HSI or the traditional HSI, or I guess just the VOR needle, that whole concept of cover the flag, cover the needle, that just broke it down so much easier. And then as far as holds, I know some people like to do the thumb method.
Oh yeah, I taught you that one too, right? The rule of thumb.
I think you did, but I actually haven't used that one. I just kind of just look at it and I throw out all those other measuring of 45, 70 degrees, all that stuff. And I kind of just look at it in general and be like, okay, what makes the most sense of how to enter this hold? And I should speak in past tense because I'm not an instructor anymore. I tried to help my students simplify how to enter a hold. And it's to kind of make it easier because, you're flying, you're probably taking a check ride and you're super nervous and you don't want to do math while you're flying. You just kind of try and keep things as simple as possible. So you just kind of look at your HSI and kind of think, what's the easiest way for me to enter this hole? And you kind of have to visualize things, picture it in your head, and then go from there instead of doing math and moving your thumb or stuff like that. I don't know.
Yeah,
What kind of, yeah, that whole thing. So the examiner just sits there and he's like, I want to laugh because I know what they're doing, but putting their thumb on then you have the G1000 with the screen, and then until you don't touch the screen kind of thing, but yeah. No, instrument was difficult for me, but I think a lot of things that got passed down, even as an instructor, I learned a lot more as a CFI on how to better understand instrument material. It was a lot better.
Yeah, the reason I harped on it so hard is because I didn't get it taught right. And so for the longest time, I didn't know how to do it that well. And then I got thrown into that Triassic Learjet, and
Yeah.
I had to figure it all out really quick then,
Yeah.
which is the whole reason I found this book. Actually, some German guy recommended it to me because I was like, man, this guy can fly the needles like an RNAV system, just, all by visualization. And yeah, it really helps. Like, I can't stress it enough how important it is to learn, because it will get you out of some situations. GPS isn't perfect.
Right. What happens when the GPS eventually, it goes down, or you're in an area where you don't have that signal to get that GPS coverage, and you just have to go back to old-fashioned green needles. I had a DPE tell me at my previous flight school that he was flying with an FO and for a charter operation, and they were flying a VOR approach, and he couldn't fly the VOR approach in a jet. It's like, well, dude, you're getting paid to do this. You should know how to do it. But we just get so used to flying GPS and hit direct enter, and we just get used to going. So yeah, I know this definitely helps a lot on trying to get your bearings straight.
When I would do recurrent training for guys coming through, and this is like professional jet pilots, that was my favorite instrument to kill. And I thought I was throwing them a softball because I'm like, oh, it's just the map. You don't need that. And
Yeah.
you would really be surprised at how many people lose their mind. Like, they took probably 4 missed approaches. I'm not even doing anything to them other than taking away the map.
Wow.
Like, you guys seriously don't like that?
Yeah, no, yeah. You it's good to practice this and stay proficient with it. I mean, I say that now, and actually I can't remember when was the last time I did a VOR approach. So I think we're gonna try and do one by the end of the week. So, I should probably hold back some of my words before I say anything else. I'll do a VOR approach later this week.
Yeah.
I'll let you know how that one goes.
Yes, you and me both, man. I think I'm going to go to Mexico here later on. Next couple of days. We'll see how it goes.
Hey, at least it's not ADF.
Yeah.
I've never flown one of those.
No, they're fun. I like them.
So what else did I miss from earlier? What else did I miss from your presentation? I was trying to hurry back here and get on the Zoom call.
That was,
Hey guys, I'm out. Good night. See ya.
Denise,
Y'all
Good
are
night.
chatting. I see ya. Bye.
Good night.
Bye.
That was it. Just to cover the flag, cover the needle. I have more tricks, but I don't have that great of photo editing software or know-how, so I wasn't able to throw all those in there. Maybe another time.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we should probably get
Some-
together and then put it together and see if we can get those images on there.
Yeah. That'd be cool, man. One of these days I got to put something together that has more stuff, because this book is really good. The only problem is the translation in German is kind of rough. So it's like,
Okay.
kind of move some of that over. And I don't know, maybe he's cleaned it up in the Apple version, but I know the original book was like, every now and then I'd read it and be like, what's he trying to say?
Yeah. I'll look through this book here on iBooks. It just got downloaded, so I'll look through it and see how it comes across.
Yeah.
Okay. Sweet.
I thank you guys for bearing with me and listening to my ramble during this presentation.
No, you did great. You did great. You did a great presentation. We all are very thankful that you put it all together and that you share your tips and tricks with us. We're all very appreciative of that. So thank you for taking time to put it together and for presenting it here. I recorded it, so I'll clean it up and I'll probably post it tomorrow. So you can share it with the team. I'll post it on the iMessage and also on the Telegram.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Likely I'll also put it on YouTube. You give me a little bit of time, I think while we're here, what's that?
I Say, good job, Jacob. You'll be everywhere now.
Yeah, it'd be on the
We're
internet.
We're gonna make you
Everywhere
YouTube
now.
famous, Jacob.
Forever.
Yeah.
We'll make- It'll be the Jacob series. Just every month he teaches us something different with instruments.
Mm-hmm.
Good, good. Talking about the monthly, what do we want to do for next month? Patricia, can we still get Billy for next month? What is the plan and when do we want to?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, unfortunately, he had COVID, and I think I wrote in the one of, I don't know which one, if it was in the text or telegram, but John, I had like a bunch of stuff scheduled for this week and everything canceled because people had COVID. So, so I talked to Israel. It's like, you know what, this will work great. Jacob can put his presentation up. We can watch it on Zoom and do it that way. I think that was the prudent thing to do. So good job, Jacob. Hopefully next month can be in person. I mean, we'll see, but I'll check on dates with Billy. He's got like 17,000 plus hours, like he stopped keeping a log of his hours. And he wanted to talk about threat and error management. So like common mistakes he sees from, you know, these were professional, right, airline pilots, and he's had a very, he's had quite the career. He was, you know, flying a Bonanza down to South Texas to like pick up deposits in the middle of the night and all sorts of stuff like that when he started his career. So I think it'll be an interesting topic for sure. Just kind of the things that you see over and over again that people screw up. So hopefully that can be in person. And if so, we'll have it here at my place.
What date are you thinking, Patricia, so I can, the 9th, February 9th?
I can do the 9th. I'll check with Billy.
Okay. I think this is off on Tuesday because Jacob is flying tomorrow, so we pushed it for Tuesday, but typically we do it on Wednesday,
Mhm.
the middle of the week.
Yeah, I'll check with him. And if that works for everyone that's here today, you get a say when you're here. So
Right.
that's kind of just the way it works.
Does the 9th work for everyone here on the Zoom?
I don't
Should.
know my schedule yet, but I think it's.
I don't either. I don't know either, but you know, it probably will. Should work.
Yep, I know by the 20th usually.
Good.
Jose, are you on the chat? Because I got a new phone and I've lost everyone's number.
Oh no, no, I don't think I'm on the chat. No.
All right.
We get, what is your number? We can add you, Jose. Let me write it down.
Let me know when you're ready.
Promise I won't prank call you or
Oh my God.
put your number
dude.
somewhere.
No. Oh.
Yeah, go
gosh.
ahead,
Don't
Jose.
remind me. Don't remind me. Oh God. Working the desk, and then I get this random text. I wonder who that's from. Jeez. All right. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
972
972
365
365.
2466.
Hold on, 2466.
66. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have Telegram, the messaging app?
No, let me download that now.
Yeah, if you could download the Telegram and then we'll add you on both. We have a iMessage group and then we have a Telegram group.
Okay.
Yeah,
The Telegram is more secure.
yeah.
Okay.
But Patricia's an attorney, so she knows what she's talking about.
And my clients' phones get dumped all the time. So I can tell you that WhatsApp and all that is always in discovery. Feds go through all that stuff.
Wow.
They're not secure. So Telegram, haven't seen any Telegram as of yet.
That's good to know for my illegal activities. I'm just
That's
kidding.
right.
Keep it on Telegram.
Keep y'all in the know. Did anyone go anywhere really cool? Did y'all end up going to New Orleans?
Me?
No,
What?
the
It
weather
ended-
has not worked out on the days that we tried to go. So we're still in the process of trying to go, but hopefully soon.
It was sketchy, and I was looking at it, and as the day went on, I thought, well, maybe they did get out. I mean, it wasn't like really terrible after all, but no.
Unfortunately, with everything we have planned, we have to leave by 9:30 in the morning or else it's a no-go. So usually what happens is it clears up around like 10:30. So
Wow.
it's just late, but we'll get it one of these days. Hopefully it'll work out. So did anybody do any fun flights since our last meeting? Go anywhere cool? Patricia, were those your pictures of the snow in New Mexico?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, it was awesome. And it delayed our return flight by a day because the airport was snowed in. It snowed 2 feet
Wow.
finally over a couple of days before we left. So yeah, we went out to the airport like packed, ready to go. It was going to be early and then it was going to be later. And then there were just a lot of strikes, for the flight. And kind of the last one was like, oh, we forgot to plug in the plane, the Tanis heater, the engine heater. And I was like, that's it. Like, and I was PIC for the way out. So I was like, no, we'll go tomorrow. We don't have to be anywhere. Yeah. So we went the next day and it was awesome. Taxiing over snow though. I was very anxious about it because I've done it once before, but this was like a lot of snow on the ramp. And you just, man, really just don't move at all. So, but yeah, got out there and took off. And I think I told you guys, like, I had to fly on the left side of the runway because the center had like some snow and ice still. And thankfully, having John in the plane with me, my eyes were just focused on the runway. So I was looking for one spot where there was some snow and ice that was on that side of the runway. So I told him, like, you've got to call out my VR because I'm just like focused on the runway. And I saw that spot, moved around, and right after that, he was like, okay, VR. But it was good. It was smooth, no problems. It was beautiful.
So what do you fly? I might have missed it already, but what plane do you fly?
We have a G5 SR22 turbo.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah, she loves the cold weather with the turbo. I mean, regardless, she'll climb at like 1,200 feet a minute, and the airport's 8,400 feet. So, I mean, it is up there. But yeah. And then you sidestep, to away from where the winds and get the updrafts, and it'll be like 2,000 feet a minute that you're.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's cool.
It's fun, but that was a challenge. So it was exciting. It's always exciting to do something a little more challenging and scary than the usual.
Mm-hmm.
But it was good. I mean, it was safe. It was just it was challenging.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's good. How long have y'all flown that? How long have you had it?
We've had her 15-ish months.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very cool.
And her name is Hazel.
Hazel.
So, yeah.
I'm guessing it's a bluish color, kind of.
Oh, it's brown. It's brown. It's very.
Yeah. She's hazel colored. She's hazel and silver. Yeah. That's her name.
Nice.
So she did very well. Yeah.
Patricia, weren't you were at the Compass Rose painting when you left to go buy that, right?
Yeah, I was like, sorry guys, I can't go after all. My plane is coming in like now. We're going to pick her up. So
Yeah.
I ditched.
It was miserably cold that weekend anyway. I don't know why anybody would be outside painting that thing. It was so cold.
I have committed to be there to the next 99's Compass Rose painting, no matter what.
All right, holding you to that. You committed.
Yep. I will no longer shirk my duties. I won't have another plane to buy, that's for sure. All of our money is going to this one.
Did anybody else do any other cool flights since our last meeting or over the holidays?
No.
No.
No, just the flu Rona.
The floor. Yeah.
Oh man. That's a bummer. Well, hopefully, Jacob, you have some immunity, even though they're saying you might not, but hopefully
Yeah,
you're good
lots
for
of
the year.
time.
Jose, he got the flu and then COVID right afterwards.
What?
Yeah,
That's miserable.
they kicked me when I was down.
Well, if you weren't out partying all the time, I mean, geez.
Yeah.
come on, Jacob, come
No
on.
mask.
Yeah, too much partying. And what's weird too is like a couple months ago, I went on a cruise, nothing, man. There was no outbreak or anything. And yet, like when I'm trying to be cautious is when I get sick. Weird
Yeah.
timing, I guess.
So key takeaway is who cares then just whatever. You know.
Yeah, hopefully you'll live.
Hopefully. Yeah. Cross your fingers, right? Knock on wood, whatever.
I don't want to get it again though. It really did suck.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I got stuck in Little Rock with COVID.
No.
I tried to call off on a trip and they're like, no, you're fully vaccinated. You need to show up anyways. It's like, okay. Day 3 of the trip. Hey, so I'm getting symptoms of this, and this. Like, okay, well, you're gonna quarantine for 10 days in the hotel room. Okay,
Ooh.
Damn.
thanks.
Was it at least one with a good restaurant?
I didn't leave the
Couldn't go
room at
out.
all.
Yeah,
I
you
couldn't
couldn't-
leave. I couldn't leave.
Yeah.
Like I was stuck to those 4 walls for
Well,
10
because
days.
then you have to order room service. So if it has a bad restaurant, you're stuck eating it repeatedly.
You know what? I thought about ordering some food from down there. I just felt guilty having like the front desk staff like bringing my food up to my room. I'm like, God, I don't want to seem needy, you know. Like, so ended up not ordering anything. I'm sure they had some good burgers down there, fries. Can never go wrong with that.
Lived off of like
What
ramen
did
in the
you
hotel
eat?
room.
So my girlfriend's parents actually live in Little Rock, and so they brought me a bunch of like food supplies and everything, and so it's kind of the perfect place if you're gonna get stuck somewhere. So that was like the place
Can't
to
go
get
wrong with
stuck.
that.
No, nothing wrong with that.
So we call Jose if we're stuck in Little Rock. So his girlfriend's parents can take care of us.
Yeah, exactly.
Rock's
Y'all
a
have my
fun
number
area.
now, right? You have my number.
Oh yeah, man. Little Rock's a fun overnight too. I like the little
Is it?
water area with the bars.
Oh yeah.
There's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
a bridge. I vaguely remember, but I remember it was fun.
Yeah, now I just have this residual cough from having COVID. It like tacked on at the end after all the chills, fever, and everything. It's like, let me give you a little bit of a cough too.
Yeah, I got that pneumonia right at the end. I had to take a Z-Pack, but man,
Man.
getting better.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
So now
like
I'm
3 major sicknesses in 1 month, Jacob. I think you're set for like a good 2 years now.
That's what I'm hoping. I'm like, at least I got it all out of the way, you know, during my most time off anyways. It just sucks that it happens on my time off.
yeah.
That's the way it always works. Like start of the vacation, that's when you get sick.
Yep.
So I guess you all didn't go travel and do all that fun stuff you hoped to do. Nothing.
Nothing out. Yeah, no, I was hoping to go somewhere too, non-rev to like a nice little island or something, but no. Got stuck. Oh well. At least it's over with for now. So hopefully we get the immunity. Hopefully. Fingers crossed, I'll be optimistic.
Parents saying you don't get immune. So,
Well,
I
they keep changing the story. So like in a couple days we'll be immune. So who knows?
and I thought I was immune to everything. I used to be based in LaGuardia and I ate off of the airplane tray tables without washing.
damn.
You built up that natural immunity.
Yeah.
That's what I used to say with like I don't have that many allergies growing up. You know, just so the street tacos you eat, you know, just has all that natural bacteria from the air in the streets, and that just builds up your immune system.
That's good stuff.
Yeah.
It's a good point. If you can
Yeah.
eat those,
Yeah,
Oh, man,
and not get
street
sick.
tacos are
not
good.
You
get
made-
sick. I mean, wow.
I know
Yeah.
a really good taco truck over here.
Man, I
over
want
in
some good
Fort Worth.
I want tacos now. I want tacos.
Same
Might
here.
as
We
well.
got to do tacos at one of these meetings or like a lunch meeting.
Yeah, we do. I think we want to do also a fly-in, right? So do a
Mhm.
fly-in where we could get some food or something. The weather's cold right now and not so good, but hopefully in March.
So the next meeting is on February 9th, we said?
Yes,
Okay.
7.
Isn't there a Mexican place either in like northern Oklahoma or southern Kansas or something at one of the airports? I heard there's a really good Mexican restaurant. We could just combine the two, fly there and have Mexican food.
Which one? Which one?
I can't remember. I'll have to Google it, but I remember someone telling me that. So that's a bucket list thing now.
Cool.
Is that an airport?
That's what I heard. Yeah, I heard it's either in Oklahoma or Kansas, and it's really good Mexican food at the airport. So you could fly in and grab tacos and stuff.
Flying
So,
and
I'm
tacos.
intrigued that going to Arkansas or Kansas is going to get us the best Mexican food.
Yeah.
I'll Google it and let you guys know if I can figure it out. I can't remember where the person said it was, but it's out there. So I'll find it and pass it along. So we'll make that our fly-in spot, maybe.
That'd be cool. I'm gonna have to learn how to fly a small airplane again.
Oh,
Remember,
boy.
Jose, we were gonna do that, and then you went to the airlines.
Yeah. No, it's been a while since I was in a small plane, actually. I went
What do you-
before coming to PSA. I think the last time I flew a plane was probably beginning of summer. So I haven't flown a small plane since beginning of summer. And then when they put me back in, they put me into the actual plane flying for PSA. I'm like, whoa, what is this thing? You know, you get used to doing a sim, right? And you just, it's one thing, but flying an actual plane, you're like, oh my God, so this is what it's like to fly again. You know,
What
it's
do you-
fun.
What do you fly now?
The CRJ, the 7-900. Yeah. So still getting used to it, still getting used to how it all works and everything. So I still got just under 50 hours in it. So just getting acclimated with the airline world. Jacob, I'm sure you're familiar with it. You did it for a while.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. I think you were with Republic for a while, right? You
yeah.
were doing
it was
their
like a year and a half.
175s. Yeah.
175, 170. It was fun. Good cruise, good overnights, good flying.
That's where you had the LaGuardia base, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd much rather fly the 175 than the CRJ. It's this technology in it, like coming from the G1000 in a 172, and then you get into CRJ with the autopilot being from like the 70s or 80s. I don't know how old it is. It's like the screens are like cathode ray tubes and everything, and they're
Oh,
not even
wow.
LED. I'm just like, oh my gosh. I mean, it's digital. It's still a screen instead of the like traditional 6-pack, but it's just kind of a flashback in time.
Back in the Stone Ages. You think that's bad? Wait till they get into one of these.
Oh
Or
God.
even worse.
Oh Jesus.
I'm like, man, I have more technology in the G1000.
Yeah. Oh man, I can't wait to get into that. But that's probably what, another 8 years down the line for me.
No, less than that, the way things are going.
Yeah, true.
Probably next year.
Yeah, they told us like, yeah, you should expect a captain upgrade within about a year of
That's
flying.
all right.
I'm like, what? Wait, no, I just started. What are you talking about? No, I need to get used to this first. But yeah, who knows?
And I kind of miss flying the little airplanes a little bit. I've been wanting to do it again, but I'm afraid my flare height's going to be so high. I'm going to be like stalling towards the runway or something goofy. I'm going to be
Oh my
definitely.
gosh. Yeah. See, now we get to cheat because at the airlines you have that radar tone that tells you how high you are. Like, oh, okay, now it's flare.
Yeah,
then
you
you
Roll it
get
out,
back-
right?
Yeah,
Did
then you
they-
get back in the 172 and you're like, oh crap, is this where I flare? I forgot. I don't know.
Dang.
Okay, maybe I shouldn't fly that 172 again. I'll just postpone that. I'll postpone it. It'll be a while. It's okay. We don't need to do that. Y'all don't need to see that either. It's okay.
Yeah, we'll just
Jose,
ride.
you and Jacob and Jose, we'll just put you in a plane and let you go up together and figure it out.
She doesn't volunteer. She's like, "Eh, y'all
That
figure
would
it
be a
out.
bad idea.
Figure it out.
That's a bad idea. That's a bad idea. Yeah.
Don't go with the CFI. I mean, what fun would that be?
No, God, yeah, no, of course. Oh
Man.
boy. Good times. Good times.
Well,
So-
thank you. We thank you for taking time to join us for the presentation. Jacob, thank you for putting it all together, and thanks to everyone who participated and joined today. We look forward to seeing you guys on the 9th. Hopefully it's in person.
Yeah, that's
Israel, will you send out a link when you get those posted? Because my internet kept cutting out. I think I missed most of the presentation,
Yeah,
so I'm
no
gonna have to
problem.
rewatch it.
Yeah,
Okay, thank you.
I'll post it. Give me a day or two to get it all. I think it has to save to my computer and then I have to export it out.
She
Okay,
didn't miss much,
that's
don't worry.
fine. There's no time.
Yeah.
Oh,
Sounds good.
okay, well, thank you.
Thank you so much.
It's nice seeing you
Thank
guys
you.
again.
Yeah.
Thank you.
See you now.
All right.
Thank you.
See you later.
Yeah.
Bye.
Night.
We'll see you.
Good night.
See ya.
All right.
See, all right. See you later, Jacob.
See ya. I'm gonna go ahead and stop sharing here. Have a good
Yeah,
night.
as soon as I end it, you're gonna get kicked off.
Perfect. Take care.
You too, man. Bye.